The day everything changed. I was doing some research on recent animal attacks that were attributed to witch-adjacent mythical creatures, vampires, werewolves, and the like, when I'd stumbled on a recent case in a tiny mountain village in the Rockies. It concerned a young woman named Sabine Etienne, who had been mauled beyond recognition by a wild animal, most likely a bear, but whom locals were convinced was the victim of a werewolf attack. "They're everywhere here," a man in the article was quoted as saying. "They breed them up there." Something about the case intrigued me. Perhaps it was the mention of an ominous "they" and the unspecified "up there" that drew my attention. A very grainy photograph of the young woman accompanied the article. I couldn't make out much of her face, but with her chic glasses and long blonde tresses, she didn't exactly look like someone who might be attacked by a werewolf, though I suppose even lycanthropy can be modernized. Intrigued, I flagged the incident as something to circle back to, and for some reason, I mentioned the case to Paloma. I even showed her the photo while she was knitting. Paloma had seemed uninterested at the time, but later that night, she started acting strange. I was reading in the living room when I saw her slowly shuffling toward the front door. There was something off about it. Her movements jerky and erratic. I set my book down, stood up, and called out to her. It sounds like an exaggeration to say the hairs on the back of my neck stood on end, but that's exactly what happened. Why? I wondered. Would my body react with utter terror to seeing my cousin walk toward the front door? I called out again, but she didn't respond. When I caught up to her, I grabbed her arm and she whipped around, the fury in her eyes almost blistering. If you'd asked me before that moment if I'd be able to identify hatred in someone's eyes, I would have said no. But that day, gazing into Paloma's absorbingly dark irises, I was certain there was no other emotion it could have been. I took a step back without even meaning to. "Paloma? Are you okay?" Her eyes bored into me. "I know what you are." Because I am conflict avoidant and hadn't the slightest clue what to do, I laughed and tried to play it off. "You know what I am?" I joked with forced laughter. "You mean a lazy academic with a bit of a drinking problem?" She smiled, but it was wrong. Somehow not her smile. "Good luck with your research," was all she said. And then she turned, opened the door, and stepped out into the bustling city. I ate dinner alone that night, and when Paloma returned well after dark, she shut herself up in her room.